Welcome back to Pit Perspective. I'm your host, Roger Sherman, pitmaster and owner of the District Pit BBQ Catering Company in Washington, D.C., coming to you from the main kitchen of the O Street Mansion. Got a great guest for you today. We got Funny Lady Kacie Hackett, one of DC's best comedians. She's had the opportunity to perform at the Mohegan Sun's Last Comic Standing, and she's open for Stephen Michael Casado. Kacie also runs Distantly Social Trivia on Zoom from here in the district, but she does it nationwide. And she's had the opportunity to raise over $12,000 via donations since the beginning of March for the restaurant and hospitality industry here in DC. You can find Kacie hosting trivia on Zoom on Thursdays, or you can find her on Bumble, which her mother would really appreciate. Kacie, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
No problem. All right, so Kacie, everybody thinks they're funny. I kind of think I'm funny. I try to pretend that I'm funny. But you're actually a funny person. You get up on stage, you crack jokes, you make people laugh, you make people smile, you make people happy. That's got to be a little bit daunting because there's always a possibility that you're going to get booed, you know? So how did you get into comedy? What made you want to be in comedy? You know, just put me in that space.
So I think how I got into comedy is kind of a funny story in and of itself. I was having some challenges with Comcast, and I thought I'd really show them and cut off my cable and internet. So of course that made a big impact on their bottom line.
Of course.
So I went actually a year and a half with no internet and no television in my home. So I thought I'd go to the gym more, and it turns out I will do anything to not go to the gym. So I sat down and I was like, I'm gonna write a book. And about 3 minutes later, I was done with all the thoughts in my head. And it was kind of funny, so I punched it up and tried to find a place to tell those jokes on stage. And when you start out in comedy, a lot of shows are bringer shows. So if you're new, they're asking you to bring friends.
Okay.
Which is actually an incredible high because your friends are going to laugh at you and you think you're funny, even though you're just starting out and frankly you're really not that funny. You're getting the laughter from your friends. So you get this like false ego boost at first.
That's if you have good friends.
Yeah, if you have good friends. You have this false ego boost. And then it's almost in the middle. Then you really have to start working at it and have your friends not come to shows and actually find out if you can make strangers laugh. Okay. And I think that's like the most validating part, when you can make the strangers laugh.
So how long was it before you felt comfortable and realized that you were really, at what point did you say, I'm going to stop bringing my friends and I'm going to go to the next level? How many shows did that take?
I would say it took probably 2 years.
Wow, okay.
Well, one, I was running out of friends who would start going to shows.
Sure.
And I was very lucky that I had friends that would come for that long. But probably 2 years into, and then you really, start talking to other people that you're seeing all the time and know how to start working the jokes and improve.
We're in the midst of a difficult time in the world. I hate getting into this because it's not funny at all. But there's a lot of stuff happening out there. Everybody knows I'm a barbecue caterer, and I had to make some adjustments, obviously, because there was nothing to cater. How did that affect comedy? So I know you're typically on stage in front of a group of people. Obviously, that's not able to happen, or at least wasn't able to happen, for a long period of time. How did you continue in the comedy business, or did you take a break from the comedy business, or what did you do at that point?
So me personally, I think everyone did things a little bit differently. There were a lot of outdoor shows. I know people who, and I actually did one. It was like right by MedStar Health, so you would get heckled by a helicopter.
Sure. Yeah.
Every once in a while. A lot of people turn to like YouTube and doing sketches and stuff. That's not my style. But Zoom really picked up, and Zoom shows, which has been really cool because I've been able to meet comedians from around the country. I have a lot of friends in Canada now.
Okay.
So it's not the same by any means. It's almost like a whole new skill set of how to. I used to move around a lot on stage, and my first few Zoom shows, if I watched it back, I noticed I'm like almost bouncing or running in place because I'm used to that movement, and it looks terrible on camera. They're like, it looks like, does she have to pee? What is going on? So like you have to like rehome your body language and that sort of thing.
So did you get the same type of feel from the crowd? Obviously, there's not a bunch of people in the room laughing, but on Zoom you can't hear everybody. Or do you find yourself in situations where you're cracking jokes and everybody's on mute?
It depends on the audience,
Okay.
a little bit of both. What's interesting is the way the Zoom is built.
Okay.
Is it picks up the loudest noise.
Okay.
So you just need one good laugher,
Okay.
because then you're not going to hear anyone else anyway. So if you get one person who's willing to laugh, it also gives you a false sense of security.
Okay.
But that's what comes through. But then people are on mute, and you know, sometimes for good reasons. They may have dogs and kids, and you don't want all that distraction. So you may be doing well, but you're getting radio silence, which it's hard to keep that energy up, or you may not be doing well.
See, that's the thing. So, you know, again, I try to relate what a lot of my guests do to what I do. And in barbecue, you know, or in catering, really, you spend a lot of time cooking and you spend a lot of time prepping everything. But you do get a little bit of instant gratification from catering, because people come through the line and maybe they come back a second time. That's a good sign. And you see some people smiling while they're putting something in their mouth, and you know, they seem to be enjoying it. When the pandemic hit, and you know, I'm not catering for people, I'm doing nothing but individual platters, so people are coming to my location, picking up plates and leaving. So, you know, you might hear about it. You might hear somebody say that, you know, you might get repeat business and you know that it's working, but you don't get that instant gratification that you get, that I know you've got to thrive on being on the stage. I mean, I know I definitely thrive on it. And I can't wait to set up for, you know, a spread and get everybody eating and then watch everybody's happiness, but you know, I'm not getting that today.
Yeah.
So, Distantly Social Trivia.
Yes.
That's the name of the Zoom. I mean, I'm sorry, the Zoom show that you're doing. Tell me how that came to be, because I have participated in that. So I've actually participated in Kacie's, you know, trivia show on Zoom, and twice I've won money.
Yes.
Not by winning the show, but what she does is she picks a random placing, and like I said, there might be 30 people out there, and if you place 12th, you get the money prize, or if you place 7th, and I hit the number twice. I've never won, but I've hit the number twice. So tell me how you decided to pivot to trivia as opposed to doing something with comedy on Zoom.
Yeah, I actually had the idea before things shut down, but right when we were being encouraged to social distance and stuff, and my friends and I go to trivia night every week, and it's like, oh, that's probably not a good idea. We probably shouldn't do that. But I felt bad. Again, restaurants and bars hadn't shut down yet. I felt bad taking our business away, even though we didn't feel comfortable going there. So I, you know, texted my friends and said, hey, would you guys want to, like, if I wrote questions, would you guys come play on Zoom? So I did a show with my friends, and then I put it on Facebook, and friends of friends just started sharing with each other. And then one friend shared it with a friend who wrote an article in the Washington Post about it. And that's really how we hit kind of national players. And now we get a lot of families, people who have parents in one state, kids in another, which, you know, it came out of the pandemic, but it's their weekly night to like hang out. And like I said, I felt bad taking business away from bars and restaurants. So everyone, we ask if you can to donate $5 to play, and the proceeds go back to organizations supporting bars and restaurants.
So you do a lot of trivia. What is? I know there's always categories of trivia. My wife and I were doing trivia, you know, before the pandemic, and now we're doing it on your show. What's the most difficult trivia topic? What's the topic that you guys put out there that you know people aren't going to get these answers? Is it you know, political, or is it sports? You know, what's the tough one?
You know, I always think I have some stumpers, and we've got a couple teams that are just so smart. So I didn't think this would be the stumper, but the hardest round I've ever asked was actually about James Bond theme song.
Really? Oh,
yes.
Wow. I would have failed miserably on that one.
Everyone failed miserably.
I would have had no shot.
It was about who sang what song. And
Okay.
it was just matching.
Okay.
And yeah, that killed people.
The only one I could have got is the recent one from Skyfall by Adele.
I left that off.
That's,
I thought that was too easy.
That's the only one I would have got. That's the only one I would have got. So here's another good question for you. So we do like trivia, my wife and I. We were doing trivia at a couple of different DC bars for years that we've been doing it. And you know, it's on your honor. You know, everybody has access to the internet now. It's in everybody's pocket. It's in everybody's hand all the time. How do you? I mean, I guess you really can't. But is there an effort to regulate cheating on Distantly Social Trivia?
Yeah, I keep an eye. So I keep an eye on people who seem to be doing exceedingly well.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's not great. But there are certain questions where if you Google it at face value, you know, that answer pops up. But the way I word it, it's actually a different answer.
Okay.
And, you know, we don't give a ton of time. So that's actually, I do throw questions in there like that.
Okay.
I think like the most popular sport in the world was one of them. That depends on whether it's viewers or player. Like it depends how you quantify the most popular sport in the world.
And it's got to be soccer, right? Is that the answer?
It depends, because cricket's up there too.
Wow, I never would have got that one.
Yeah, so it depends how you word it.
Okay.
So I worded it where one answer popped up on Google, but actually when you read and put that qualifier in there, I forget which way I went, whether it was soccer or cricket. But so that's also one way of just like things that aren't a quick Google. It takes some time to read through.
Gotcha. Kacie has prepared some barbecue related trivia for us today. Which I'm a little bit terrified by, because I am a trivia player and I happen to be a barbecue chef, so I should have some knowledge here, but I'm guessing that I won't.
So I think I put them in order of difficulty.
Okay.
And you can just edit that out if that turns out not to be the case.
Terrified right now.
Okay, so the 4 distinguished categories of U.S. barbecue.
The 4 distinguished categories of U.S. barbecue. So it's going to be North Carolina, Memphis, Kansas City, and Texas.
Yes.
Boom.
All right.
All right. So that was pretty easy. All right.
Now the rest, I do have multiple choice. I'll read it,
Okay.
but if you want to go the multiple choice, I'll give it to you.
Okay.
So I know you smoke a lot of chicken and stuff too.
Yep.
So this is a bird related one.
Okay.
The wishbone of a bird is actually what bone?
I believe it's the clavicle.
Yes.
Yes! Killing it!
So it's fused together in birds in a way that's not in humans. But
Okay.
yeah, you didn't even need a multiple choice.
I'm excited right now. I'm feeling good about myself. This is a good confidence boost. Just like having my friends at the trivia or at the comedy show.
All right, so this one is meat related,
Okay.
kind of barbecue adjacent.
I love meat.
What brand of seasoning was named after a famous prime rib restaurant originally located in Beverly Hills?
Prime Rib Restaurant in Beverly Hills. Seasoning brand. Off the top of my head, I got nothing.
All right, so I'll give you the multiple choice.
Okay.
A, Accent, B, Lowry's, C, McCormick's, D, Mrs. Dash.
So McCormick's sounds like an uppity deal. So I'm gonna go with that. Prime Rib is kind of uppity. We'll go with McCormick.
All right, so I think McCormick's is based out of Chicago.
Okay.
So this is actually Lowry's.
Okay, all right. I thought Lowry's was southern. I would have never thought California. Okay. Well,
That was barbecue adjacent.
no,
so
that's fair. I like it.
and like I said,
like
I think they're getting more
it's getting harder.
difficult.
Yes.
Yeah.
Meat and fire. Okay.
All right, so this is a kind of history one for
Okay.
you. Bones of what animal were found during an archaeological dig in the Czech Republic that uncovered the world's oldest barbecue?
I'm gonna take a real serious chance here and go with zebra.
Oh, interesting. Would you like the multiple choice?
So I'm wrong. Not zebra.
Zebra is not one of the multiple choice.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
All right. A, Brontosaurus.
Oh wow. Okay.
B, buffalo. C, woolly mammoth. D, hammerhead shark.
What was the first one?
Brontosaurus.
I'm gonna go. No, it's not brontosaurus. That's too old. I'm gonna say it's gonna be something weird like hammerhead shark. Woolly mammoths were not in Africa, to my knowledge. I could be wrong in that.
Czech Republic is the question.
Oh, the Czech Republic. What? I've actually said that. I really dropped the ball on that one. Oh, wait, okay. Well, boy. I'm gonna go with hammerhead shark.
I think that was a good mislead.
Okay.
The answer is woolly mammoth.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, why I thought the Czech Republic was in Africa. Maybe I thought the Republic of Congo. I have no idea. I really bombed on that one.
All right. Final question. Which U.S. president hosted the first barbecue at the White House?
It's gotta be Teddy Roosevelt. He just seems like that kind of go out there and light his own fire and probably kill the animal himself.
He does seem like that sort of guy.
I bet you it's earlier though. Who's another just rough and tough guy? I'm gonna go with Grant.
I would maybe lean towards presidents from Texas, actually.
Oh God, is it okay? That makes sense. So it's got to be okay. I think there's been two, so it's got to be Lyndon B. Johnson.
Yes.
Okay.
You didn't even it didn't even bring you to the multiple choice.
Yeah, we went to Texas. I knew it couldn't be as late as George W. Bush. It had to be earlier than that. But that was good. All right, so Kacie, tell everybody how they can find you.
They can find me at distantlysocialtrivia.com. That's where you can sign up for a trivia game, get your friends, get your family, play as a group, or try to go it solo if you want to be challenged. Or you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. It's just at the letter K, the letter C, Hackett, and that's my handle. And I post trivia stories in my Instagram stories as well.
I would not suggest that you go it alone on Kacie's Trivia Show. It's always at least me and my wife, and sometimes we'll get a couple of other people involved, and we'll G-chat and all kinds of other stuff. It's kind of fun. So I'd like to thank the O Street Mansion for hosting us again in their main kitchen. I'd like to thank Kacie for coming on the show. It's been great. Thank you for the trivia. Please subscribe to the show. We're Pitt Perspective on YouTube. I'm at District Pitt on Instagram and The District Pitt on Facebook. Thanks again. We appreciate your time. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.